Yeah, if you need to make any adjustments on your screen, sometimes a little thing will pop up and kind of get in the way. So if you're doing this live with me, you might want to get rid of that. So today we're going to be talking about the crown chakra, which is the last chakra in our chakra system. So we have 7. And some of you have been doing this whole process with me, and some of you have sort of been in and out, and it's no big deal. It still applies. So I'll do a little reading in a little while. We will need block, strap, and a chair. I think you can see my chair here. We won't use the chair till the very end. So go ahead and get settled on your back. I'll get my music started. And we will probably take a short little brief break in the middle where we're just resting. I don't know, sometimes my Zoom will just kind of cut me off after 45 minutes. And so if that happens, just stay where you are and I'll come right back. So fingers crossed, hope everything stays together. Just take a minute and move around so that your back feels comfortable, your spine feels supported. You can have your knees up or your legs straight out, it doesn't matter. You just want to be in a comfortable, relaxed position so that you can ground yourself. Bring yourself present onto your yoga mat. Always begin our yoga practice by getting grounded, but then also finding our breath. And that sounds kind of silly, find your breath, it's always there. We bring our attention to our breath, and we just feel it and we just notice it. Sometimes we change the breath, and sometimes we just notice. So feel your chest, your belly, your sides, and your back. You inhale and exhale. And sometimes when we try to relax, when we try to come present, our brains, our minds will just start to chatter, and that's all right. That's what makes us human, is that we think. We have millions of thoughts every day. Most of them are not necessary. And so in our yoga practice, we notice that. Take another deep inhale and let those thoughts go. Like the waves coming in on the ocean. Every time a wave comes in, takes some more thoughts back out and just releases everything, creating space so that you can be present with your breath. Now let's take 3 more mindful breaths before we start to move. And then on your next inhale, raise your arms up into the air. Bring your palms together and down to your heart. And maybe set the intention to come back to your breath over and over again for the next 90 minutes. And now turn your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Your palms are still together. Press your arms up into the air. And then bring your arms down overhead, keeping your palms together. You can bend your elbows if that helps, if that feels more comfortable, and you can just let the tips of your thumbs touch the floor. A nice gentle stretch for your sides, your shoulders, your back. And then inhale as you raise your hands back up into the air. Your palms are still together. And then let your hands come down and rest underneath your ribs. So think of the next 90 minutes as a gift to yourself. Give yourself permission to just be where you are. Now we're going to move into bridge pose. So you can have your hands under your ribs, down by your hips, or out to the sides, either way. Press into your feet as you lift your spine off the floor, lift up, and just find a nice gentle bridge pose. In a longer class, we can hold our poses longer, we can take our time and really enjoy each pose. One more breath. And then very, very slowly lower down. You feel your back of your pelvis touch the floor. Bring your knees up towards your chest and rock side to side. And come back to neutral, holding onto our knees still. Pull your right knee in a little tighter, maybe out to the side a little more towards your shoulder, and lift your left leg up into the air and flex both feet. And now we'll slowly lower the left leg down, lower it down almost to the floor. And pause, keep your foot flexed. Take a few breaths. Feel the opening in your left hip joint. The length in the back of your left leg. On your next inhale, lift your left leg back up. Exhale, bring your left knee in, bend your knee, and straighten your right leg up into the air. Flexing both feet. Taking a few breaths. And then on your next exhale, slowly lower your right leg almost to the floor and pause there. You want to lengthen your right leg. One more breath. And then as you inhale, raise your right leg back up. Exhale, bend your knee, hold on to both knees, and rock side to side again. Relax your ankles so you're not flexing your feet anymore. You're just rocking side to side. We're going to come back to center and set up again for bridge pose. Remember, for bridge pose, your heels are up as close to your bottom as they can come. Your knees are close but not touching. So if you had a yoga block, you can put your block between your knees, and that's about how much space you want between your knees. So once your lower body is set up, just bring your hands down next to your hips. Press into your feet and peel your spine off the floor. We're gonna move into flowing bridge pose. So, but right now we're just holding this bridge. We're allowing our bodies to adjust. Get ready for a little bit of movement. Before you come out of bridge, bring your arms out into a T position with your palms facing up. Take a breath or two. Lift your arms up into the air, bring your palms together, down to your heart as you slowly lower down. And relax. And now we're going to move into that flowing bridge pose. So as you inhale, lift your back, bring your arms out in a T position and pause. And then inhale, raise your arms up into the air. And as you exhale, arms come down overhead as you lower your back down. And then inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, arms out in a T position as you come down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, arms down overhead. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, arms out in a T position. Let's do that 2 more times. Trust your body, trust your breath. We're going to end with our arms out in a T position and our backs down on the floor. Your back relax. Raise your arms up overhead. Slide your arms up overhead and just let them rest there for a few breaths. You can interlace your fingers if you like, if that helps. Or you can just let the backs of your hands rest on the floor. Just taking our time, warming up. And our bodies, the time and space they need. One more breath. Now bring your palms together overhead. As you inhale, bend your elbows. Exhale, palms down to your heart. Relax. Your arms come out to the sides. Now we're going to shift the focus down to our hips with windshield wipers. Let's move slowly. So imagine you can slow everything down by inhaling as you lift your legs up. Exhaling as your legs come down to each side, and just as if you were moving in slow motion. Longer, deeper breaths. Slower, deeper movements. Good. Time your legs come to the right side, let them stay there for a few breaths, 3 to 5 breaths. And then on your next inhale, lift your legs up. Exhale to the left and pause for 3 to 5 breaths. And then on your next inhale, come on back up to neutral. Reposition your low back so it feels in neutral. There's no pinching, no discomfort. We're going to come into butterfly pose next, and make sure you're nice and stable there on your low back. Bringing the soles of your feet together and allowing your knees to fall out to the sides. Making any kind of adjustments you need to make so that you can just sink into this. This feels a little uncomfortable. It's okay to bring your hands underneath your legs. Give your legs a little support until they're ready to open up. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, slide your hands underneath your legs, lift your legs up, and then roll to one side and help yourself up into a sitting position. Finding your sitting bones, sitting up nice and tall. Let's just pause here for a minute. I'm going to read about a paragraph, and then we'll continue our stretching. So we're taking our time here, warming up today. So go ahead and close your eyes. And this is about your 7th chakra, your crown chakra, which resides at the top of your head, just above your head. So it's not actually in your body, it's just the energy around the top of your head. Imagine that your torso is a sturdy stem with its roots sunk deep into the earth. Imagine your roots are nurtured by water in the 2nd chakra, and that your stem is fed by the fiery solar plexus in your middle belly to rise into the air in your heart chakra, vibrating in sound at your throat chakra and light at your 3rd eye, to at last explode into 1,000 shining lotus petals at the top of the crown. At the center of the lotus, your individual point of awareness connects with the overarching field of divine intelligence, knowing there is no separation. In the true meaning of the word yoga as union, the individual and the divine are at last linked in their common field of consciousness. To be aware of this unity and to go beyond that awareness to simply being this unity is the essence of realization. So there's a lot of deep stuff there, so don't try to hold on to it. I'll send you a copy if you want. I'll tell you all about it later. But just know that we've worked from our root chakra all the way up to the top of our heads at our crown chakras. We've connected body and mind over and over and over again. And that's what we do every time we practice yoga. We find that connection. Let's take a couple of deep breaths. And then we'll begin our movements here with spinal rotations. Any size you like, big or small. If you can go slow. Try to really focus on what's happening in your body. What do you feel? Where are you moving? Where do you feel resistance? Inhaling as you come up and exhaling as you come down. Let's go one more time in this direction. And when you're ready, reverse your circles. Inhaling up, exhaling down, feeling that connection between your sitting bones and your yoga mat and the floor and the earth below, as if you are rooted. You do have roots. You are connected. One more time. Find yourself up in neutral again. Pause. Relax your hands, relax your arms, chest, your shoulders. Take a couple breaths. And then we're going to move right into a side stretch. So with your right hand on the floor, lift your left arm up and lean to the right. Moving into our bigger stretches now, our bigger movements. One more breath. On your next inhale, release your left arm down, and exhale, raising your right arm up and leaning to the left. Taking a few breaths. Lengthening your right side. Imagine you can make yourself taller. Look at some space between your ribs. One more breath. We move right into spinal twist. So we inhale up to neutral, and then we exhale as we move to the right, finding our spinal twist. Twisting at the waist, feeling your belly, your sides, and your back. So much of yoga is about awareness. So as we move up the chakra system, we become more and more aware of sensations. And we become aware without judging. We just notice and witness. We allow and accept. Couple more breaths. And then on your next inhale, slowly come back to center. And exhale, slowly come to the left for a nice long twist on the left side. Breathing into it. Let's take a couple more breaths. And again, on your inhale, come on back to center. And once you get there, roll your shoulders a couple times, loosening up. And I think we'll use our straps now. We're going to come into staff pose. So we'll take our straps, stretch our legs out, and wrap the strap around the bottoms of your feet. Flexing your feet, sitting up tall, and just hold on for a few breaths. Just really feeling the length in your legs. We were just in a cross-legged position, so now our legs are stretching out. Just hold on. And then bring the strap together into one hand. It doesn't matter which. So you create a V position, a V shape. And then start to walk your hands down the strap, keeping your back flat. So don't let your back round. And you may not come down very far. That's not the goal. The goal is to feel that nice, strong stretch in the backs of your legs. Use the strap again when we come up to standing, but right now this is providing a nice, firm place to focus. Breathe into it. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then slowly release. And put your strap off to the side. And then we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Set yourself up so that your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. So you might let your hips move side to side a couple times, just sort of checking out how your hips feel, how your low back feels. And then we'll come back to neutral and we're going to move into cats and cows. So for cat pose, tuck your tailbone, round your back, and let your head drop down. One more breath. And then beginning your movement at your tailbone, start to lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling as your belly drops down. Your chest moves forward and you can lift your head just enough so that you're looking straight ahead. We don't want to hyperextend our neck. We're not looking way up, just enough to look forward, straight ahead. Feel that arch in your back. And again, starting your movement at your tailbone, start to tuck your tailbone as you round your back and let your head drop down back into cat pose. And again into cow pose. Lift your tailbone, drop your belly, chest forward, head comes up slightly. Press your shoulders away from your ears. That opens your chest. And then we're going to come back to neutral. Bring your spine back into neutral. And now we're going to move into a flow. So starting with cat pose, rounding your back. And then inhaling as you lift your tailbone, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale into cow pose. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale into cat pose. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, cow pose. Let's do that 3 more times. Follow your breath. After your next cow pose, bring yourself back to neutral. And then press back into child's pose. You can also come into hero pose if you prefer, just sitting on your heels, or child's pose. You might want to rotate your wrists a few times. Catching our breath here. Warming up to some bigger movements. All right, when you're ready, come on back onto your hands and knees. Stretch your right foot back and press into your heel. And then lift your right leg up parallel to the floor. If you're not sure if it's parallel, turn around and look. Make sure your leg is not up high. We don't want to hurt our backs. So your leg is either parallel to the floor or lower. Your foot is flexed. And then keep your foot flexed as you bend your right knee and press up gently towards your heel. You won't be able to go too far. One more big pose here. Keep your foot flexed, keep your knee bent. Bring your leg underneath your body and then bring your nose down towards your knee. And release. Do the same thing on the other side now. Stretch your left leg back, curl your toes, and press into your heel. Good. All right. Lift your left leg up parallel to the floor. Keep your foot flexed. And then bend your left knee, keeping your foot flexed. Press up gently towards your heel. Belly is pulled in, supporting your arms and your leg. And then one more time, bend your knee, bring your knee underneath your body, bring your nose towards your knee. And release. And then we're going to stand up on our knees. Make some circles with our wrists. Keep your arms out. All right. Now let's curl our toes so your heels come up behind you. We're going to do our baby camel pose. And you can either lay the backs of your hands, the heels of your hands, or your fists on your low back. Just somehow get your hands to your low back. Then press your pelvis forward, lift your chest, and lean back slightly. Lifting your chest. That's the goal. That's the effort. Lifting your chest. More breath. And then come out of this pose, starting at your pelvis. Bring your pelvis in line with your spine. Continue on down and reach back towards your heels. You don't have to hold on to your heels. If you can, that's fine, but your hands are reaching back behind you. Let your head drop down so the top of your head faces the floor, but it doesn't need to touch the floor. And this is rabbit pose. Take a couple more breaths. All right, come on back onto your hands and knees. We're going to thread the needle to shift over to the left side. So your weight is on your left arm. Inhale as you raise your right arm up, and let's just pause right there. Right arm is up. We've opened the right side of our bodies. We've got a little twist here. Take a few breaths. Now we're going to close it all up. So as you exhale, bring your right arm down. Press through that hole. Let the back of your arm fall down to the floor. Your head can rest on the floor or just hover above the floor. And this is opening up your upper back, opening up your shoulder blades. We tend to hold a lot of our tension there. Sometimes this can feel a little uncomfortable. Adjust any way you need to. And then to come out of this pose, we want to press into the left hand, left arm. Lift yourself up. And we'll do the same on the other side. Shifting your weight over to your right hand, right arm. Inhale, left arm up. Look up if you like. Open the left side of your body. And then on your next exhale, release your left arm down. Thread the needle. Come down towards your mat. One more breath. You're ready to come up. Press into your right hand. And again, come all the way up, standing on your knees. Roll your shoulders. Ooh, yeah. We are warmed up now. We are nice and flexible. Ready for some big poses. Getting bigger and better. Our next pose is going to be a down dog. So shake your arms out, shake your hands out, prepare yourself for downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, just press on up, find your down dog. Like an old friend. Familiar, comfortable, easy and healing your body. Couple more breaths. Now we're going to move forward into plank pose. So you may need to circle your feet in and out until you come into a nice strong plank, holding your belly in, feeling yourself shake a little. And then drop your knees down. Keep your arms straight and strong. Press your chest forward, arching your back, lifting your head for upward facing dog. And then we'll press back into child's pose. All right, so we're going to do that again. We're going to do it in a flowing way. We're going to coordinate with our breath. This is our build up to our work. We'll take a little break and then we'll come back. So back onto our hands and knees. And this time let's start in plank and then press up to down dog. Take a breath or two. I'm going to go slow to start with. And then inhale back to plank and hold for about 3 breaths. And drop your knees. Keep your arms straight. Press your chest forward, arch your back, lift your head. And then press back into child's pose. All right, let's come back up onto our hands and knees and let's see if we can do this 5 times with our breath. I'm going to talk us through it the first couple times and then you can just move at your own pace. We're doing this 5 times. Start in plank. Take an inhale. Then exhale into down dog. Inhale back to plank. Exhale, drop your knees, press your chest forward. Inhale, press back. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees down, chest forward, up dog. Inhale, press back. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, up dog. Inhale, press back. Exhale, child's pose. 2 more times. See if you can do it on your own. Down dog. Plank. Up dog. Child's pose. One more time. When you come into child's pose this time, just let yourself rest there. Rotating your wrists if you like. Taking a couple of breaths. You might imagine that you're climbing a mountain. And now you're working hard, you're getting closer to the top. Not quite there yet. You feel your body kicking into gear, warming up, feeling confident, feeling strong. Take a couple more breaths. Now from here, we're going to come into a sitting position, long ways on our mats, and we're going to need our straps. We're going to do our boat pose. You might need to open up your strap for this, or sometimes it's okay if you have it folded. Make sure you can get it around the bottoms of your feet at the same time that you're bending your knees. So we're bending our knees and our feet are flat on the floor. You turn this way. So your feet are about hip distance apart on the strap, holding onto the strap. And then we just lean back and lift our feet. Hold on. We don't want the boat to fall over. We want to stay stable. We want to use our core muscles. Take a few breaths. We're almost to the resting part. And release. We're going to do it 2 more times. So reset yourself. And when you're ready, come on back up into boat pose. You can come right back where you were, or if you want, you can try straightening your legs. That's not necessary. So there's a nice place where you feel stable. And then if you keep on trying, you might end up rolling on over. That's okay if that happens. Just start over. And release. I'm going to rest after this, I promise. One more time. All right, go ahead and release. Move your strap off to the sides. You can come into butterfly pose. That always feels good after boat pose. You could also just sit up nice and tall and rock side to side, just whatever your body needs right now. All right, let's come on down onto our backs. Take 2 or 3 minutes down here. If you're doing this as a recording and you don't want to take the time to rest, that's okay. Just fast forward, move on to the next part. It's the beauty of these recordings is you can do what works for you. And right now, just let yourself rest. Letting go of effort for the moment. And again, if you're doing this as a recording, you can also just rest, do a few more stretches and just be done. The next portion of this class is going to be standing and then a relaxation at the end of the standing poses. So it's up to you how much you do. It's your practice, it's your body. So from here, when you're ready, help yourself up to a sitting position and then all the way up to a standing position. No big deal. We don't have to do any poses to get up. Make your way up to standing. I'm going to adjust my screen. Okay. Let's come into a wide stance. Palms so they face forward. Roll your shoulder blades down your back. Inhale up. Exhale down to your heart. Just take a minute and feel your connection underneath your feet. We spent the whole first part of the class on the mat, on the floor, not standing. Just notice how it feels to stand up. A new perspective. And then bring your hands to your hips. Just take a few hip circles. Loosening up your hips. Nice and slow. We did start just a little bit late this morning, so we're probably going to go a little past 10:30 just for your planning. You're doing this with me live. Just know that, and if you need to leave early, that's okay. It's your practice, it's your life. Great. So let's come on back to neutral and pause again. And then we're going to come to the top of our mats. And we're going to do one sun salutation. So some of the poses we've already done. And so it should feel familiar. You want to have your block nearby because we're going to be coming into a lunge. And the block is always helpful in a lunge. Come to the top of your mat. And we'll do this slowly. We're not moving fast. So from mountain pose, inhale up, exhale and lean back. Arching your back, remembering that camel pose that we did, with our hands on our backs. Lift your chest. Take a few breaths. And then on your next inhale, lift up to neutral. Exhale and pause in airplane pose. Belly pulled in. Knees are soft. Head is in line with your spine. Your next exhale, forward fold. Use your block if you like. You can let your whole upper body just drop down. Now, if you're using your block, go ahead and move it over to the right side. Bend your knees a little more. And step your right foot as far back as you can go. And then adjust your leg so that your left knee is directly over your ankle. That's the most important part of this lunge, is that your knee is directly over your ankle. You don't want it in front of your ankle. That's too much pressure on your knee. Feel the length in your legs, feel your hips separating, moving in opposite directions. One more breath. We're going to come into plank pose next. So if you like, you can drop your right knee down, bring your left knee back to meet it, and then find your plank. Or step your left foot back, and there you are in plank pose. And then we'll press up into downward facing dog. One more breath. And then we're going to move into plank, drop our knees, keep our elbows in as we slowly lower down. Once you come down, press your shoulders away from your ears, lift your head and chest into baby cobra. And our next pose is a downward facing dog again. So press up, curl your toes, lift up, and press back. When we're in down dog, we want to press our chest towards our thighs. Your neck is in neutral. Your neck is not doing any work here. Chest towards your thighs. And then we're going to be stepping that right foot forward into another lunge. So take your time getting there. You can drop your knees down and get there that way. Using your block if you like. You could keep your left knee down and have a low lunge. But again, remember that knee has to be directly over your ankle. Ever just need to exercise, you just need to sort of work some energy out, do this sun salutation. You can do it once, you can do it 3 times or 5 times, you can go faster, slower. It really stretches out every muscle and every joint. One more breath. We're coming into forward fold, and that's a little tricky. So move forward and back, shift forward and back. And then when you're ready, start to step your left foot forward until you're back in forward fold. Make sure your feet are directly underneath your hips. You haven't come into a wide stance or your feet are not together. Coming up into chair pose next. So when you're ready, bend your knees. Inhale as you come up, keep your knees bent, arms out in front of you. Take a few breaths. We're still climbing that mountain. We haven't reached the top yet. It's a really tall mountain. When you're ready, inhale up, exhale, palms together, down to your heart, and rest. Catch your breath. All right. halfway through our sun salutation, so we're going to do everything we just did on the other side now. You can block over to the left side if you're using a block. When you're ready, inhale up, exhale back, lift your chest. So you're spreading your shoulder blade, your shoulders away from your ears, shoulder blades down your back. Imagine there's a string holding onto your chest, pulling your chest up towards the ceiling very gently. One more breath. Then inhale as you come out to neutral. Exhale, hinge at the hips into airplane pose. Keeping your knees soft. Belly pulled in. Head in line with your spine. And then on your next exhale, forward fold. One more breath. Now we're going to step back into a lunge with the left foot stepping back. Take your time getting there. Remember, your left knee can be up or down. One more breath. And we're coming into plank pose. So remember, you can drop that left knee, bring your right knee back to meet it, and then find plank. Or you can simply step your right foot back into plank pose. And then press up into downward facing dog. And then we're going to move through plank pose. As we come down, dropping our knees, keep your elbows in, belly pulled in. As you slowly lower down, use your arm muscles to lift yourself down. And then inhale, lift your head and chest for baby cobra. One more breath. One more time in a downward facing dog. Lift up, curl your toes, chest towards your thighs. One more breath. Now we're coming back into a lunge with the left foot coming forward. You could try lifting your left leg up into the air behind you, and then use the momentum as you come back down, bringing that left foot forward. So that's something we have to practice. Our bodies have to learn how to get from down dog to a lunge. And every time we do it, it's new. It feels new. Take a couple more breaths. And we're going to come into forward fold. So again, rock forward and back and use that momentum to bring your right foot forward, maybe a couple steps at a time, maybe one big step into forward fold. One more breath. One more pose. We're coming into chair pose next. So bend your knees, sweep your arms out to the side, and hold your belly in as you come up into chair pose. And then we'll inhale all the way up. Exhale, palms together, down to your heart, and rest. Notice how your breath has changed. Notice how your body is energized, invigorated, working hard. All right, so let's move around just a little bit. We're going to do one balance pose. I think we have time to do another little sequence of Warrior One. So for our balance pose, we're going to use our straps. We're going to do our dancer's pose. So you'll want to be either near your chair, since we have chairs today, or you can go near a wall. I guess I'll do it by my chair since it's in front of the camera. And so what you'll want to do is take your strap and wrap it around the front of your right ankle and hold on behind your ankle. And then when you stand up, you can just lift your leg, holding onto that strap. So this is your starting position right here. You might just stay here. This is okay. If this feels like a good stretch, just stay right here. And then once you feel stable here, see if you can press your leg behind your back. You're still holding on to the chair or your wall, so you're still stable. You're not balancing yet. Start to press your leg behind your back. So as you do, you're going to lean forward slightly. When you find a place that feels right on the edge, stay right there. And then see if you can let go of your chair or the wall. This is dancer's pose. All right, whenever you're ready, slowly let that go. And we'll switch sides. So if you know dancer's pose and you don't need the strap, don't use the strap. The strap is good. It gives you a different sensation, but it's not necessary. So if you're using the strap, wrap it around the front of your left ankle. Whoa. And if you're not using the strap, you're just going to reach back with your hand and hold on to your left ankle. Keep yourself stable. And then when you're ready, start to press your leg behind your back. And as you do, you'll lean forward naturally. You're going to feel a stretch in your arm, your left chest. You're going to feel your back start to arch. And the idea is to press your heel away from your body. So you're not pulling your heel up towards your bottom, you're pressing it away, creating space. And then if you feel stable, see if you can let go. Let go of your chair or the wall. Good. All right, go ahead and release whenever you're ready. Shake your legs out. All right. I think it would be good for us to do a warrior two flow next, so that we can loosen up our legs a little. And we are going to use the strap for warrior two. So for now, come into a wide stance. Wrap the strap around your left thumb. Hold on with your right hand. And then you're going to turn your left foot towards the short end of your mat. Right foot towards the long end. And then just reach your left arm out. We call this bow and arrow right here. We're getting ready to shoot an arrow, holding on to it, reaching out. We're almost done with the work. The rest will be familiar. Your body will know what to do. You won't need to think too much. And then to reverse this warrior, we just lean back. Left arm reaches up, right elbow reaches down, legs stay where they are. One more breath. And then come back to warrior two. Bring in your left hand, still holding on to the strap. Bring your left hand down to your left thigh. Straighten the strap up. So reach your right arm up. And this is a good side angle pose right here, just using the strap. One more breath. And then we'll release the right arm down. So your strap is going to loosen up. You're going to almost feel like you're letting it go, but you're not. Release your right arm. Rotate your chest so you come up into a straddle. Turning your left foot. Now you're in a straddle. Take a couple breaths. And then we're going to switch sides. So bring the strap to your right thumb. Turn your right foot so it faces the other short end of your mat. And here we are again, a warrior two. So you can look at this sequence here as the beginning of our cool down. Because we've done this before. We're not really challenging ourselves at this point. We're just enjoying the pose. If you're ready to reverse, lift your right arm up, point your left elbow down. One more breath. And then we'll come back to warrior two as we make our way into side angle pose. Bringing your right hand down to your thigh, holding onto the strap still. Straightening the strap up into the air with your left arm, leaning down slightly, rotating your left shoulder back like you always do in side angle pose. One more breath. And now let your left arm come down in front of you as the strap releases. Roll yourself forward, round to the front. Turn your right foot, turn both feet in and walk them in just a little bit so you're in a nice, more comfortable straddle. You can go ahead and drop your strap down, and then we'll do a airplane pose here. So hands on your hips, hinging at the hips, and just come in halfway down. And so you can choose to have your arms out in a straight line if you like, or hands on your hips. Releasing your back. Maybe let your head move side to side. Making sure your neck is in neutral. There's no tension in your neck. And then we'll come all the way down into a straddle fold. Just slide your hands down your legs. If they reach the floor, that's fine. If they don't, let them rest on your shins, your thighs. See if you can let your whole upper body just drop down. Take a couple more breaths. And then to come up, we're going to bend our knees, bringing our hands to our thighs and lifting ourselves up. And back towards mountain pose, kicking your legs out, kicking your arms. And then your chair, you want to set your chair up before you come back down on the floor. So make sure the seat of your chair is facing where your feet are going to be. So if you're going to lay down like this, in the end, your legs and your feet are going to go into the seat of the chair. Let me move my screen here because we're getting ready to come down to the floor again. So go ahead and come down into a cross-legged position. And let's just settle here for a few breaths. So we made it to the top of the mountain. We saw the view. The view was beautiful. It was nice. We were tired, but it was nice. We felt like we accomplished a mighty goal. And now we're heading down the other side. So for the moment, just sit here quietly. Let your body settle. Letting go of effort, expectation. Just let it go for now. Let's do one stretch here. Actually, we're going to do it 2 times. It's a forward fold with our legs crossed. And so start to walk your hands forward, keeping your sitting bones on the floor. And just finding a place where you can rest, where this feels like a nice resting pose. There's no discomfort. Your muscles are nice and warm. Your joints are nice and warm. And you can just sink into this. Take a couple more breaths. And then walk your hands back towards your body as you lift up. The other leg in front. Make sure you reset yourself so you can feel your sitting bones again. And then hinge at the hips as you walk your hands forward into this cross-legged forward fold. Maybe you feel your whole nervous system calming down, letting go. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then walk your hands back towards your body as you lift up. And we're going to come down onto our backs. Make sure your feet are facing your chair. And you can scoot pretty close to your chair if you like. We're just going to do a few more stretches and then we're going to rest. So get as close to your chair as you can without bumping into it. And then bring your knees up to your chest. Hold them in. Hold on. Give yourself a hug. And if you have your strap nearby, you can use your strap for the next couple of poses. It's not necessary. Wrap the strap around the bottoms of your feet. Straighten your legs up into the air. If you're not using your strap, just hold on behind your legs and flex your feet. Now we're going to do a happy baby pose. So you can do this with or without the strap. You have the strap. You're going to spread your feet apart, bend your knees, bring your legs down close to your shoulders, closer to the floor. If you don't like the way this feels, let the strap go and just hold on behind your knees or the bottoms of your feet. One more breath. If you can find a butterfly pose with your legs up in the air. So holding onto your shins, bringing the soles of your feet together and letting your knees come out to the sides. One more breath. And then release your feet back down to the floor, keeping your knees bent. Your knees are up. I'm going to do a little spinal twist. And then there'll be a minute or so where you can do other things if you like. So for this spinal twist, we're going to cross one leg over the other. So cross your right thigh over your left thigh. And then lift your back off the floor and shift it over to the right. And then let your legs fall to the left. Your arms are just out to the sides. They're passive. They're not doing anything. Just letting your lower body move to the left. Yourself sink into this. We're going to hold it for a little while, longer than usual, so we can release any tension that's left in our hips and our low backs. If it starts to feel uncomfortable and you want to come out of the pose, be sure to uncross your legs first. So take your time if you need to come out of it. Uncross your legs and then roll back onto your back. Otherwise, just see if you can sink into it. Notice your breath. Notice how your breath keeps you present, keeps you where you are. Helps you stay. Now let's take 3 more mindful breaths. And before you move, think about how you're going to move and then just move slowly. You might unwind your legs first. You might reach down underneath your legs and help your legs up. Just take your time. There's no hurry. Making your way back onto your back with your knees up. Repositioning yourself. Noticing how the right side of your body feels compared to the left side of your body. And then we're going to find some balance. So cross your left thigh over your right thigh. Lift your hips and shift them to the left. And then let your legs fall to the right. So we're holding this for about a minute. And so know if it doesn't feel comfortable, you can come out of it anytime you need to. So these long holds are like a deep tissue massage. They really get into the fascia that hold your muscles together. It releases old tension, old stress. In order to do that, we want to relax into it. Try to let go of any resistance. There's a fine line between resistance and pain. So if it starts to feel like pain, that's your cue to back off a little. Remember that yoga is about awareness. It's about the union between your body, your mind, and your spirit. And right now, that's what we're practicing. Union. Let's take 3 more mindful breaths. You're ready. Start to unwind your legs. Taking your time. Slowly coming back onto your back. And then before we do anything else, let's bring our knees up towards our chest and rock side to side. And so this is where, if there's something else you'd like to do before you rest, it's the time to do that. And when you're ready to rest, you're just going to slide toward your chair, bring the lower parts of your legs into the chair, and just relax. How often do you get to do this? Not very often. You feel ready. Start to deepen your breath. Start moving your legs, moving your feet, moving your wrists, your fingers, moving your head. Taking your time, bringing yourself back. Remembering the chair. Slowly rolling to one side. When you're ready, bringing yourself up into a sitting position. We can end our class together. And so if you're doing this as a recording, of course, you can just stay where you are as long as you want. Take a nap, whatever. All right, so we're sitting up nice and tall. One more time, feel your sitting bones. I'm going to read one more little thing from our crown chakra reading. It's just a little poem by T.S. Eliot about realization. Realization. So close your eyes. I'll send you a copy of this in your email if you like. We shall not cease from exploration. And at the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. And in yoga, that's talking about ourselves. We explore, we look, we seek, we want to find more, we want to know more. And eventually we just come right back where we started with ourselves. It was always here. It's always inside of us. Anything we want is right here inside of us. Go ahead and bring your palms together at your heart. Bow your head and honor yourself with the word namaste. Namaste. Thank y'all for participating today.